Hey y'all, I wanted to show you a really cool platform I've been using for doing a bunch of deployment work and testing out different things I've been building against called Railway. Really think they've nailed the iteration experience. Love how they structure their site. It's a great platform. Just figured it'd be cool to throw a video together just to set you up to check it out. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to hit dashboard, and we're going to go and deploy out something and show you what iteration looks like. Again, I think they've really nailed the developer experience of this. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to do a new project and I'm going to deploy from my GitHub repo. I've already configured that, connected it on my side. I'm good to go. I'm going to go this OpenAI Next demo that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and do deployment. But first, I'm going to add a variable to it. My variables here are my OpenAI API key, so I need to go ahead and add that in. Takes you right in. I'm going to go ahead and grab this from off the screen real quick. Grab OpenAI API key. Grab my API key that I'm going to have to update now because I've let you all see it. It's going to automatically go out and reschedule a new deployment using that variable that I've added. So if I go in and look at deployments now, we can see it's building out. If I dive in, I can see some really nice build logs around what's happening with the project and how it's building out. If I go back, we'll probably see a second one spinning up. Yep, that's because of the new version that I've added on. So while this is building, we're going to do a couple of quick maintenance tasks that my OCD mandates that we do. So I'm going to go back here to the beginning. Oops, switch back out. I'm going to go in, I'm going to hit settings, and I'm going to update the name of this. We're going to call it OpenAI Railway Demo. Save, close. I'm going to update this service name to just NextJS front end. It's a little deceptive because there's a backend in there too. One thing I love about Railway is these little prompts that it does. So the deployment finished, it's deploying the other one with the additional variables that I added on there. But one thing I love is these little prompts they do. So in this case, it knows it's a web server, so it's prompting me to add a domain so I can connect to it. I could add a custom domain if I wanted to use one of the 8 million random domains that I have. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and add a domain from them. And it's going to give me an external URL to connect to it. Takes a little bit for that to come up DNS-wise. So again, in the background, we're going to do some other things. One of the things I love the most, probably my favorite feature of Railway, is the ability to iterate and how easy it is to add on additional services, add on new capabilities. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to bring in a Postgres database. Right, so I'm going to add this Postgres database. And that's going to add it right alongside, and it spins up just wicked fast. Right, so in a few moments, we'll see that pop up right alongside this canvas item. And what's great is being able to bring that into the project. It automatically exposes out a bunch of environment variables for connecting to it. So we can see these over here in the status screen. I'm going to hop into the app itself. I'm going to go into variables. And again, the prompts. Are you looking to connect to database? Add a variable reference. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on the database URL. It's going to prompt me to bring that in. When I hit add, it's there. Automatically does a reschedule to deploy out with those new variables attached. Just love the experience there. So now if I pop into that database, we take a look, there's no data in it. I can create a table, it's empty. I can do that manually here. But I also get all the connection strings here. I've got a version of this app that's local on my system that uses Prisma to connect to the database. So I'm going to actually show iterating on this version with that. But first, I need to initialize the database. So I'm going to grab this variable here. We'll launch back into my command line. We're going to go ahead and export the new environment variable for the database URL. And then we're going to go push the new schema in from Prisma. Oh, there's an update. Good to know. Now if I go over to data, we can see this new table available there, and that table is available. And again, I'm adding that variable into the deployment right here. So that is going to understand how to connect to it once I push the new version. This old version of the page doesn't actually have access to it. So if I pop in and hit this version of the app, see, this is the old version of the app. If I go in and fill in a prompt, hit submit, it'll return on the bottom. Real basic AI query app. But what I want to do is I want to iterate. I want to ship out a new version of this application that has some style changes as well as that the database connectivity. So I'm going to hit back into my CLI here, and I'm going to actually use the Railway command line to link to my project. So I've got this OpenAI Railway demo here. I'm going to connect to project, and now the CLI is linked. And so I can take this local version of the code that's running here, not committed to Git yet. I can do a Railway up. What that's going to do is it's going to take this local code, bundle it up, and push it right into my Railway instance. So if I hit back to the UI, we can see initialize via the CLI, and it's starting to build out now with that updated version. Again, I can come in, I can see fine-grained logs as it's starting to build out this entire thing. Behind the scenes, Railway builds these using Nix packs by default. You can have it use Docker files if you want to by default, but in this case, it's using Nix packs. It's building up the container images and publishing them out for consumption by the platform. So right now, we've built the first version. You can see in here, and now we're getting ready to publish out that version for it to actually deploy. All right, that's done. So we've got our variables set for our database URL and our OpenAI API key. If I go in and take a look, we've got our table set up again. And if I go in now and refresh the page, in a few moments, we should see the updated version. There it is. New version's updated. Tell me about Railway.app in 20 words. Fun fact, I do the in 20 words so I get a fast response back. Deploying, scaling, and management of application. One-click infrastructure and seamless collaboration for teams. Streamlining software development sounds accurate. And if I pop back in, like any good magician, I always show the tricks. We can go into the iQuery and we can see it actually in here. So I can actually see live query into the databases that I've deployed. Again, the iteration on that is incredible. This is very fast to go and deploy out, kind of a multi-tier application here. Real basic version, but I love the iteration. I love that I can continue to develop, redeploy, do Railway up, and have it ship out. Love the platform. Check it out. They're super active development team, building a lot of cool features into it. Love to see it. I hope you learned something new. Let me know if you have any questions.